the church is God's as a rock. You must know it. Where God meets with his people, you can pray in your house, but the church is God's as a rock. When people give me excuse this to happen, I will not be looking at them. Do you really understand what it is? There is no reason whatsoever. There is no reason. If where you are staying is very, very far, get up on time. 7 o'clock. Are you not going to work? When you go to work, do you tell them that it was raining? My house is very far. You don't do stuff. In the mill. You are the one pulling yourself downwards. Always know it. You must understand the place of grace and the place of justice. The God of grace is also a God of what? Justice means judgment. Justice is the result of judgment. So you don't play with it. I can't play with it. I am amazed that people don't even come to Sunday school. I'll be like, do they really understand what it is, what this race is all about? Do they understand this race? They gave me a picture of myself in the last convention. They gave me a picture, I saw myself. And my mind was on it. My God. I said they're not going to put it on that board. Can you imagine? So I went to my office. I brought a picture of when I was 40, when I was 30. My God, the difference is too much. I said, me? Camera is good, son, because camera shows you exactly how you are. So all the pretenses we see. I went back, I said, Pastor Agwe Kalanka, forget this matter, you don't hold. So that when people come and say, my daddy, my handsome daddy Marama, I say, forget this matter, you are just flattering me. That is it. Which means, I am going somewhere. Yes, I am. That is it. So, this is a journey. This is a pilgrimage. This is a pilgrimage. You must understand and don't play with it. This is a journey. Whether you believe it or not. And as you are growing older, you are supposed to be wiser. You can't be coming late to church when you are 30 years old, and now that you are 50, you're still coming late to church. Are you not growing? You can't have an all night. When you were 30, 40, you come for the all night. Now that you are 60, you don't come to the all night. Are you not growing? We're not supposed to be moving backwards, but to be doing what? Moving forward. Because where you are going, every day is nearer to you than when you took the first step. Always know it. Don't permit the pepper soup in your house. Somebody told me, I want to make pepper soup, I'll bring it to you. I said, you are calling me by 10 o'clock this night because you want to... I said, you won't kill me. He said, we just harvested our fish pond. I said, okay, you want to give me fish and make pepper soup? I said, leave that pepper soup. You can give me the fish, I'll put it in the freezer. The day I want to chop, I go chop. If I don't chop, I go give it to another person. These kind of things will not be doing your throat. Tokon. Do you know when I began to eat fish? More than 64 years ago. So if they talk about fish now, I go still tremble. Then something is wrong with me. We must be growing. I don't know what to preach again. Is somebody growing? You know what he said in the first book of 1 John, chapter number 5, verse 14. Somebody look at it. The walk of faith. We're still talking about the walk of faith. And I'll use just 10 minutes. And if you laugh, then you're the witch. You're the one driving me backwards. 10 minutes. Somebody said 10 minutes. Somebody said 10 minutes. Or do we give injury time? No injury time. Eh? You see? And you say you are growing. Okay, yeah, you don't win. Okay, somebody read this. And this is the word that will do what? That the Greek word confidence and pistosini. So this is not really talking about faith. It is talking about the assurance. I am sure that when I pray, now this is the Greek original. I have this assurance that because I walk according to his will, I have this assurance that because I walk according to his will, if I ask anything, he will do what? He will do it. That's the correct interpretation. I am confident that because I am walking according to his will, so there is no reason for him not to not do it, because I am walking according to his will. So I am walking by his word. So I am walking by his faith. By the word of God, you have the measure of faith. Remember what we read in Mark chapter 4. Let's see Mark chapter 4, 24, 25. Last Sunday. Mark. And he said unto them, take it what ye hear, with what measure, that is it. With what measure? In other words, the measure you bring to God is the measure he will do what? He will feel. With what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you. And unto you that hear shall more be given. You see, so the measure you bring to God, the measure of faith, and this is faith. And how will faith grow? You go to Romans in chapter number 12, read 1 to 3. So the measure you bring to God is the measure he will feel. The measure you bring to God is the measure he will feel. This is why we say, because I am walking according to his will, I have this assurance, if I ask him anything, he will do what? He will do it. So he can't fail. Because I am walking according to his will. That is the measure. So if I ask God for money, I am walking according to his will in everything, and especially in relation to money. When I need money, I say, Lord, I need money. And because I am walking according to his will, I have the assurance that he will not say no. So, eho tine pistosini, afine tine pistosini pueho epidi, peripato. According to peripato, I am walking, I do my things, I conduct myself. Symphonom to telematu, yafto makui. Because of that, he hears me. Because I am conducting myself according to his will. I am conducting myself. I am living my life according to his will. And that is what faith is all about. So this is the measure I give to him. And when I give him this measure, he will feel it. So my entry oskutahosa. Now, your growth is dependent upon the measure of faith. And your measure of faith is dependent upon how you walk in the word. How you walk in the will. Because it is his word that reveals his will. His will reveals his heart. So that you can understand his purpose concerning you and concerning all things. Here he said, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, I implore you, by when you remember the compassion, by the mercies of God, when you remember the compassion, the Greek words there is compassion, eleos theu. When you remember Eleo Theu, when you remember how compassionate God is, that you present your body as a living sacrifice. In other words, you give him your body. So your body becomes a sacrifice, which means you cannot do anything with this your body, because this body has been given to him as a sacrifice. Now you give him this body sacrifice, and you see that you may now understand what is good in the sight of God, because your body given to him as a sacrifice must be holy, acceptable. So okay, your body, your life is holy and acceptable to God when you offer yourself as a sacrifice, because this is your reasonable service. The Greek word loikisu, dulia. In other words, this is why God saved you. There is no other reason. The reason for your salvation is that you may offer yourself to him. Your reasonable service. The only logical reason that you are in the house of God, the only logical reason that you are a child of God, is that you will yield yourself totally to him, and then you begin to grow in the measures of faith. So in verse number 2, this is what he says, and be not conformed. So you see what happened? That when you give yourself to him as a living sacrifice, it will be difficult for you to conform to the methods of the world. That means don't be like the world. Be not conformed is the Greek word. Don't be like. Be the opposite. The Greek word says there, naiste antikosmo. Antichrist, opposite Christ, against Christ. So you are not the same thing with the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind in the word of God, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Verse number 3, everybody read now. For I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly. In other words, don't be high-minded. Don't be proud. Don't be arrogant. Don't be high-minded. Don't be proud. Don't be arrogant. He said, but to think soberly, be sober. Be humble. Why? According as God hath dealt to every man the what? The measure of faith. Now, he didn't say a measure. So the measure of faith is what God has given to us. The measure of faith is found in his word. The measure of faith is his word. Romans in 10:17. By his word, faith grows to enable you to walk in his will. So that when you pray for anything, God says, but this one is working according to my will. Or this one is working according to my word. Therefore, he should have what he desires, what he needs. Because he's working according to my will. So the measure of faith, he measures back to you according to the measure with which you meet, which means according to the faith you give to him, he gives you back stuff. And this faith must be based on the fact that your walk is in accordance with his will, which means his word. Because it is his word that gives us light. His word gives us light. His word gives us light, faith. His word gives us solutions. Psalm 119 verse 130. You see, Psalm 119 verse 130. He said what? Everybody read. The entrance of the word giveth what? Giveth light. It giveth understanding to the simple. The simple means the people who don't have any understanding of spiritual things. Then you receive the word of God. He gives you light to enable you to walk in the measure of faith which God needs to bless you in your life. He gives you the entrance of his word. That's why I was saying, when people say that they backslide or things are difficult, or when they're living carnal lives, you will be like, what food are they feeding on? What kind of spiritual food? Because if you are eating the spiritual food of the word of God, carnality cannot remain in your body. Cannot remain in your life. Arrogance. laziness, selfishness, wickedness. Because the reason for the word is to give understanding to the simple. And this understanding enables you now to walk according to his will, to produce the measure of faith which you will give to God. So when you stand, Lord, I need money. Lord, I need to pay the children's school fees. Lord, I need to build a house, for instance. Lord, I need to change my car. Everything that a child of God needs has been put in place even before he mentions it. La utuno obuno guzo. But you, child of God, must walk in his will. And this is what gives you the confidence that when you open your mouth, he heareth you. Because he finds you in his will. Now, you can read through the Bible. If you like, you can go to the Sermon on the Mount. You read so many things that Jesus said to us. In short, if you want to know the story of God, go and read the story of Jesus. Try to understand every word he said. Every word he ever said. Read them through the Gospels. And that will enable you to understand how God is thinking. And understanding how God is thinking will enable you also to begin to think the way of God so that you can walk in this way of God. And when you stand, pray. He heareth you. Lift up your hands. I was saying to somebody yesterday, I don't give testimonies anymore because my mouth is filled with testimonies, but sometimes you don't know who's angry because you're giving testimony. May they not kill me because I cannot. Somebody, a family I'm sponsoring, helping every day, train their children, help them in every way. One day I was passing, they were discussing. They say, you get this car, you get this car, you get this. Only one person. Sure. I just come out. I say, hello, children, how are you? Hey, daddy. I said, forget the matter. Forget the matter. But it will not stop me from doing what I'm doing for you. But your hearts are not right. Instead of asking me, how are you doing it? Instead of saying, Lord, tell us the secret. I will tell you, this is the secret now. Do it. Do this secret. Somebody stole my money. I discovered. I called the person. I said, you stole my money. Was it necessary? Why didn't you ask me? You think I wasn't going to discover? He said, Daddy, bring it back. Just give me 4 months. I said, how much do you steal? He says, 30,000. I said, take another 30,000. You don't need to steal. If you asked me, I would have done what? I would have given to you. Take. And when I've done that, I know I'm going to have triple return. I've said to us that one thing that God gives us easily is what? I've said it several times. So if somebody takes my 10,000, I take another 10,000 to sow somewhere. Then I have a restoration. And it will always be a 7-fold restoration. Because that is the word of God. So you put it into practice. All the people who cheat me financially, I give them money. They don't understand. They think I don't know. But the reason I give you money is so that I will continue to have what? More money for you to do what? To steal. Bow down your head. Begin to ask God for grace, please. Ask God for grace. I love you. God bless you. Let every sickness that entered into this hall today be healed in the name of Jesus.
For prayers and counseling, call
080-3764-4181, 080-6375-1559.
To order for this message and any other message by Pastor Festus Agu, visit our bookshop at House of Praise Bible Church, 18 Water Resources Road, Efron, Delta State, Nigeria.